Hello to all the beautiful women, and you can see from my before and after pictures the transformation my body has undertaken in the last couple of years, and really in the last 9 months. I can tell you that I feel healthier than I ever have felt before. And there's a couple of things that I've done. I'm not taking any of these crazy dietary supplements they're talking about, and advertising online, for your bowel movements and things like that. I do take vitamins. I take vitamin E and vitamin A, HTTP, spirulina, which is like a seaweed type product, iron, calcium, and I think biotin, and I think that's it. But I don't take anything that you can't just buy at the local grocery store. I don't buy anything special like that for my added nutrients. What has changed completely in my life, though, is the way I eat and drink and my daily activity. And I really think that's what contributes to the look and the way my body looks right now. And I don't obsess, or I don't do anything crazy. I pretty much eat whatever I want. I only eat good things, and I don't stress about food the way I used to. I do come back. I come from a ballet and gymnastic athletic background, so weight and physical presence or appearance has always been important in my life. I've just grown up that way. And I can tell you, though, in some of those before pictures, I was very unhappy and I felt bloated. I just felt bloated every day. So after about a month-long trip to Puerto Rico 2.5 years ago over the summer, I stopped eating fast food and started eating more natural and home cooked meals, and I really started seeing a difference. So I decided to really investigate a little bit more and do some research and change the way I eat. So I will tell you what I do on a day-to-day basis, because that's really what's helped me have that stomach. I see a lot of older women. I'm 54. I see a lot of older women that have trouble getting their stomach flat, and I wasn't sucking in my stomach in those pictures. That's the way I look. It was early in the morning, and I don't usually eat until after 2. I'm on intermittent fasting, so that's one of the first things. I do a 16-hour fast every day, and my meals, even though some people tell you not to eat in the evening, my meals are mostly in the late afternoon or evening. That's just the way my day works, and it works well for me. I tried to do it earlier and started eating at like 2, and I just couldn't maintain the fasting for that long till the next morning. So I'm not a morning eater. I'm an afternoon or evening eater, and I usually eat within a 4-hour time period. So really it's a lot longer than that 16 hours, but anyway, that works for me. I suggest you look up intermittent fasting. They have different suggestions for different age levels. I know my age level was the 16 hours, and that really works for me. That works great. But anyway, one thing that I did that in changing my diet that I saw that made the biggest difference is cutting out some things. I cut out mammalian meat completely. I do not eat any kind of meat at all. It's not only a dietary choice, it's also an ethical choice for me. I don't believe in eating another mammal. I don't think that there's a necessity to, so why would I include that in my diet? So it's both. I've read what the effects of meat do to a body, and I just prefer not to. There's several series and specials on Netflix if you want to look more into that. I did my research and knew that it was the right decision for me. Another thing is I'm lactose intolerant. So many years ago, I cut out most dairy products. So I don't eat dairy. I have a replacement of nut milks and soy or soy milk. But the one thing on my cheat that I haven't been able to give up, that is dairy or cheeses. I'm a cheese fanatic. So, and I've tried the plant-based cheeses, and they don't just satisfy me the way real cheese does, but I'm trying to cut that back. I cut that back as much as possible, and maybe one time a week, have something that is with cheese in it or on it. So cutting out dairy was another big, I do not believe, another thing is to, I don't believe that we're meant to drink milk from another animal. It's kind of creepy for me. So, you know, once I wrap my head around that more with the cheese, I'm probably going to cut the cheese out as well. But anyway, until then, I still eat cheese. So dairy, let's see, meat and alcohol, you know, spirits and beer, I've cut out completely. And I substitute water instead. I used to drink a couple beers every day. It seemed like every day. I didn't drink a lot of water. I just didn't like the taste or flavor, you know, lack of flavor in water. And when I decided to cut out alcohol from my diet, the choice I turned to was, of course, water. I wanted something natural. I haven't drank soda for years, since when I was pregnant with my first child. So that wasn't an issue for me, giving up soda. But giving up the beer was like a huge transformation in my life, because I always drank beer every day, pretty much every day. I mean, every day, I'm going to say it. I didn't consider myself an alcoholic, but I drank beer because I liked the taste of it, you know. And I guess I also liked what it did for my nerves. But I cut that out and switched to water. I cut out coffee as well. And I still, you know, I read some things about caffeine and spirituality. So I cut out coffee and teas for a while. And I've included tea back into my diet. And I'll show you. I use like natural teas, and I just put them in a big jar, a bunch of different ones, and then in the morning I just reach whatever I get is what I get. Sometimes I select you know, different ones. The teas I use are really for like dietary, digestive awakening, and then some chai tea. But I don't, you know, use the generic, I guess, or brands that just are regular. I try to find my teas that are based for, you know, like I have one for breathing that helps respiratory help, and that was the digestive awakening. Here's peppermint probiotic. So I try to choose them for specific remedies. Now, the reason, you know, people might say, well, coffee and tea both have caffeine, and, you know, why did you give up coffee and switch to tea? Well, the problem with coffee was that I was putting so much creamer into it. I loved the coconut creamer, and I just, you know, if you look at the back of the label to the cream, you're not getting natural ingredients. So it was really like I was drinking creamer, the flavor of this coconut creamer, more so than the coffee. And I tried going black, and I just didn't like black coffee. And so I was like, you know, it's really, I'm drinking creamer. So what I've done instead, if I do, sometimes I do like my tea with a type of creamer in it, and I'll use soy milk with like agave or maple syrup. But I love this cream, and I'm not any kind of, you know, sponsor for this product. Laird Hamilton lives in Hawaii. He was a professional surfer. He's married to Gabrielle Reese, who was a professional Olympic volleyball player, beach volleyball. But anyway, he has developed this creamer, which I just love, and it's got coconut milk powder, coconut sugar, aquamin, which is calcium from marine algae, and organic extra virgin coconut oil, and that's it. And so I use that if I want cream in my tea. I'll use that with a little soy milk, and it does, like, it really is an energy boost. So this is like a great, it's like called a superfood creamer, and I love it. I can't say enough about it. My kids like it as well. So anyway, so I gave up coffee and that horrible creamer that I would put in it. The next thing I do every day is I take 2 tablespoonfuls of apple cider vinegar with a glass of water, and do that every day. You know, there's so many benefits to apple cider vinegar. I had a page up on my computer from Healthline or WebMD, one of those that talk about the benefits, but I just find that it's good for my digestion, it's good for weight loss, and I don't even try to lose weight. I'm not on any kind of diet. My diet is just the way I eat, not a specific way to eat to lose weight. Let's see, what else? I exercise. Okay, so I exercise pretty much daily. Nothing strenuous. I do a lot of, you know, isolated exercises for my legs, for my arms, or my abs. Nothing strenuous though, like I say, it's nothing crazy. I do, I'm not like crazy sweating or super exhausted after. It's just like a daily regimen to keep physically fit. Now, I also told you I gave up alcohol. That was the biggest, spirits of any kind. I only drink water now. Water, water, water. Try to drink as much water as I can each day. And I will only on special occasions maybe have a glass of champagne or of wine. But that's like birthdays or like New Year's, graduation, some special celebration like that. So that's really what has happened in my diet to change not only the regularity of bowel movements, which I never had that before, what I do now, but I just feel so much energy. I'm a vegetarian, so I told you I gave up meat. I eat a huge plant-based diet, and whatever I buy, if I do buy boxed foods, I make sure that I look at the ingredients because, there's some plant-based products out there that are full of a lot of junk as well. You have to be careful. I pretty much look at the labels on everything I buy, try to buy fresh vegetables and salads and fruits. And I cut out also, oh, here's a big one, white flour. I don't eat white flour. I don't eat any kind of enriched flour at all, even wheat flour. I try to limit and do other things like rice flour and brown rice flour, spelt. Let's see, I have coconut flour and things I cook with like that. So I gave up white flour. White flour, I really noticed giving up white flour was so beneficial in the bloating that I would feel the next day after a meal. And even I still eat pasta, but like I said, I eat brown rice pasta and, things made with brown rice instead. And, my noodle products like that. So I've given up. And, the rice, I still have rice every now and then. As a matter of fact, I think it's been a month since I've had rice with any kind of product. I do eat fish, very limited, and crustaceans, very limited as well. That's not a dietary choice per se, but more of a ethical or moral choice about, taking the life of another animal to, feed myself when I don't really have to. While I love the flavor of it, I try to limit that, and eventually I want to cut that out of my diet as well. I found that a little bit harder too, but I'm working on it. So maybe I have shrimp like once a month. But anyway, so that's what I do. You've seen before, you've seen after. I feel so much healthier now. Like I said, I'm 54 and I feel I have the most energy that I've ever had throughout the day. I just feel healthy. In the past, I remember back in like 2004, I had such a horrible lung condition, and I remember I was praying that they would just put me in the hospital to take care of this. And my asthma was so bad, and I was on daily inhalers and allergy pills and antibiotics and prednisone and albuterol, everything. It was just like 5 or 6 different medications, I had to take a day. And now all I do is take a daily allergy pill because I am allergic to cats and dogs and some plants. I'm not sure about here in Hawaii where I live, but I have cats and I have dogs. So I do take that daily allergy pill. I find that when I don't, I do get the welling up of my eyes and the nose stuffed or runny nose. So I do need my allergy pill. But other than that, I take nothing now for my lungs. I have bronchiectasis, COPD, and asthma. And the volcano, Kilauea, I live on the Big Island, and Kilauea is erupting. She's been on and off. It's been strange every few days, but she's erupting, and the fog that comes in at first, it's when I really got into eating this way and drinking lots of water and taking care of myself, she was erupting, and I could feel how the fog affected me. And right now, and I know that we have the trade winds and different winds where I live, so we're not getting too much fog, but it's not affecting me the same way that it used to. So I credit my diet and the water and the healthy way that I'm eating, my body is now working with me to take care of myself instead of against me, fighting all the other stuff I was putting into it from before. So even my overall health has just improved so much. I mean, I can't tell you that it's so nice to just wake up and want to get out of bed and just have energy. And then I work out pretty much every morning, if not in the afternoons. I do go to bed pretty early. You know, it's just because here in Hawaii, it's, we live outdoors a lot. So when the sun goes down, and I maybe watch something in the evenings with my daughter, I just end up getting tired and like, okay, it's time to go to bed, because I do get up early. I'm usually up in the 4 to 5:30 range. I get up and do my meditation and things like that, and my breathing exercises. I do breathing exercises with Wim Hof. If you haven't heard of Wim Hof, that is something that I do credit to from my improved health and physical health, as well as mental health and emotional health. So breathing exercise, regular exercise, I meditate, and then I start off my day and just eating right, drinking lots of water, have my cup of tea in the morning, and then exercise maybe for it's usually like an hour and 40 minutes, I think it is. It comes out to an hour and 30, somewhere around there. Maybe a little less, maybe an hour and 20, but anywhere from an hour and 20 to an hour 40, I try to do every day, and just stay active, walk my dogs, and eat right. And that's really been the transformation in my body and my health. And I would say that I've seen the most. I started maybe 2 years ago cutting out the meat and the white flour, and 9 months ago cutting out the alcohol and only sticking to water, and really getting a lot more serious on what I put in with the plant-based and going vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for about, I think it's 2 years now as well. So, and got really strict on myself. Not strict where it hasn't been hard. I eat whatever I want. And sugar, that's another thing I limit, which I am a sweet lover, but I limit my sweets. If I do have something like ice cream, it's made with coconut milk or some other dairy substitute. And I do cheat on sweets. There's a wonderful bakery down the street in Na'alehu called Punaluu Bakery, and they make these little desserts called malasadas, and they're like donuts. I can't resist that. Maybe one every 2 weeks, one a week sometimes if I'm doing really bad. But that's it. That's it on this. Everything else sweet that I have is based with cocoa products, dark chocolate, very natural, very limited in the ingredients, things I find here in Hawaii. Very blessed to this island, and is very geared toward people with athletic backgrounds or healthy attitudes. So it's very easy to find things that are good for you, and even that are dessert type items that are just good for you. They're not made with a bunch of unnatural ingredients and a bunch of sugar. They use like coconut sugar for substitutes and other things like that. So anyway, if you are motivated to change your shape or motivated to change your diet, I encourage you to do some of the things, to start off small and do some of the things that I've mentioned. Do it at your pace. I didn't do everything all at once. I started with meat, and actually I started with white flour many years ago, and then started with meat, the past couple years, and then poultry, cut that poultry out as well. I don't eat any type of poultry products. And then cut out the alcohol. Boy, I think that was it for me. I think that was the biggest change in my skin and the bloating I would feel in my body. So really cutting out the alcohol has been really transformative for me. So I hope you can see that, and I will share some more, before and after pictures here at the end. But it really is I'm just so much happier now and so much healthier. I just feel happy and healthy every day. So that I believe my diet is a huge part of that. And I encourage you to take a look at some of the research available that does talk about what, some of the choices you're putting into your body and how that affects your health, and encourage you to reach and, reach for a healthier lifestyle yourself. So thank you for watching this video, and if you like my content, please subscribe. It really helps support my message that I'm trying to share to other women of how to transform your life and your change your way of living to become one that lives at a higher vibration, higher frequency, and just a happy and healthy existence.